So in this video, guys, I want to do an unboxing as well as showing you how to set up each of these, especially the SSDs with the enclosure. So let's get into it, guys. First, what I want to do is I want to just put everything to the side that I'm not going to be showing, and then just to keep everything a little bit more neat and tidy. So these are, like I mentioned before, the products from Green, and these are actually adapters that is going to convert USB-A to a USB-C with 10 gigabit per second, which I think is pretty good. And it's pretty simple, nothing too fancy or crazy, as you can see right there. All right, so that's the first product. Let's get into the other one. The next one is also from Green, and this is the Revo Dock, and it's a 6-in-1 USB-C hub. So let me just get my knife and just kind of open this up right here. Okay, in here just get a little instruction pamphlet, and here's the actual device itself. Always like Green because their stuff is always pretty much built really well, and this is the actual hub itself, as you can see. And right here you have a USB-C right here, USB-A, and two other USB-C. These are 10 gigabits, and also this is a PD. So this one can actually charge, if you're using like a Mac, you can definitely charge your Mac. And there's some notes here, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just look real quick. So it provides 100 watts of fast charge for your laptop. So if you have a laptop and you connect it to this hub, this USB-C right here, you're going to get at least 100 watts of charge, which I think is pretty good. On the side of this now, you have a HDMI, and this supports a 4K monitor with 60 hertz, which is what I have actually on my desk. I won't be using this. I'm more going to be using the ports. And also, let me just show you what the actual connection with these. Remember I told you about this little thing right here, and literally what you do is you have a USB-A right here, and all you do is kind of plug it in, and once you plug that in, you can now see that you have now converted your USB-A to USB-C. So I think that would be very useful for someone out there, especially myself. All right, so let's move on to the next product. Let's just put this to the side for now. And the next product I want to really get into now, guys, is the Magic Keyboard with Touch ID. All right, so let me just kind of open it up. And I also got this one with the numeric number pad, because I'm so accustomed to that. Okay, let's take it out. All right, so you have your usual pamphlets. Let's put this to the side. Let's put the keyboard to the side for now. So you have a usual pamphlet right here. It tells you how to actually use the actual device. And you also have, I'm happy that they actually removed from the lightning cable to the USB-C, which I just want to make everything in my house USB-C, guys. All right, so that's pretty much what's inside the case over here. And then let's just get into the keyboard itself. Let's get these out of the way. All right, so let's take this out. I always love Apple way of putting things together. It's always so neat and tidy. All right, so I'm just gonna lift this up like so. It looks pretty good. And I know I have a Logitech keyboard, but one of the main reasons I'm getting this is because of the Touch ID, guys. I'm constantly adjusting my passwords and stuff like that, and I don't want to be constantly typing in my password to actually get into the product, or if I'm purchasing anything online or logging into any kind of site, I can just use the Touch ID right here and get into it very quickly. So I really love that. All right, so the keyboard is pretty good in terms of the keys. Feels really nice, a little bit stiff, but there's not a lot of play, and it's really good. The one thing I wish it had, honestly, like my Logitech keyboard, is I wish it had the backlight, and I wish it had that too, but it doesn't. But it's not a big deal for me because I do have a light bar that I use. So if I need light, I can actually get it. The back is like this, nothing too crazy. It has the four grommets here on there, so it helps with, you know, if it's on a surface, it's not going to be moving anywhere. If I hold the back up like this, now you have your connection for the USB-C, and you have the little notch here just to turn the keyboard on, and that's pretty much it. All right, so let's just put this to the side right now. Now let's get into the hard drive. So I bought, this is the Western Digital Black, and this is the gaming hard drive, and it's 7200 RPM. All right, so let's just get into this. Let's move these over a little bit. Okay. Good. Look a pamphlet and that. So this is a 3.5 hard drive, internal hard drive. I have a dock that I use to actually use this. The reason why I actually purchased this, guys, is because I do a lot of weddings and different shoots throughout the year, you know, and even my YouTube stuff as well. I want to be able to back up a lot of my information, and this is pretty much it, guys. Like I mentioned before, let's just get these stuff out of the way. Right, so this is what the hard drive looks like. Nothing too fancy. Like I mentioned before, it's a 3.5, and this is mainly going to be used for storing my work, backing up my work. So if I you know, edited a video, finish editing the video, I transfer the files to here, and I don't need to use it anymore unless I need to bring it up at some later date. All right, let's put this to the side. And now I want to get into the Acasis. And this is the 80 gigabit SSD enclosure, and this is Thunderbolt 5, all right? Nice packaging. Put this to the side, let's see what's inside the box. Okay, so you have the Thunderbolt 5 cable, USB-C, as you can see right here. All right, and it comes with some thermal pads, which you're definitely going to need, and also a rubber grommet because it's actually pretty much toolless, so you're going to be able to, you know, put it in. No need for a screwdriver or anything like that. And this is also like an extender for different levels of NVMe drives, SSDs. So you have the short ones and the longer ones. So you can use that if you need it. And what else is inside? And this is just the instruction manual. It's going to just take it through to tell you how to, you know, set it up. All right, so we can put this to the side, and let's get inside here. All right, this is the enclosure. I wish they had this in more like a gray or a different color, but they only have it in this blue. And yeah, it's pretty much good. So you open from this side right here, and you have these vents on the sides, and then you have a vent on the side for having the hot air come out, because there's a fan literally right here. And let's see, and you also have your connection. So this is where it's going to be connected to your machine via the USB-C, and you also have a button here, which I really do like, that you can turn on or turn off as you need it. All right, so let's just open up and see what this looks like. All right, so once you open up, guys, you're going to see the inside just like that, and you have the enclosure. You have your space right here for the NVMe SSD, and let's just get into that now. Let's just put this to the side for now, and let's just get into this. All right, so this is a 4 terabyte SSD. Let's put this to the side. Let's make sure that I am grounded. Just kind of touch some kind of metal. All right, so there's no static electricity. And that's pretty much it. Let's just fold it up like this. And this is it right here. And this is what it looks like, guys. Turn to the back and see. So you have some chips in the back. and you have some that's under the sticker right here in the front, and that's pretty much it. And this is should be about 7,300 megabytes per second. I think that's what it says on the box. Let me just make sure. Yes, 7,300 megabytes per second. So we're gonna definitely test it and see if that's what, what they advertise, that's what it is. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, like I mentioned before, is I'm gonna get this inside this enclosure so we can actually use it. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just put this to the side like so. And then, actually, let's just kind of set it up. So we're gonna prop this in. So once you hear that little snap, it's supposed to be actually just like this. If you press it down, it should actually come back up, which you know that you have actually put it in really nice and snug. So you can take a look from the side and see what that looks like. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is there's a little space here that I'm going to put the adhesive for the heatsink, so that this is going to just help with transferring heat from the actual NVMe itself. All right, let me just get. Okay, so I kind of already washed my hands and stuff, so just so that I don't get any amount of oils from my fingers onto the actual thing itself. But they have actually nicely protected it with a plastic on both sides, which I think is pretty good. So that's the rubber grommet that we're going to be using. Let's put that to the side. And this is what it actually looks like. And pretty much just giving instructions on what to do. All right, so pretty much what you do is, if I just lay it out, you can see that it actually matches the space or the groove that is here inside the actual plate. So what I'm going to do first is I will remove the first layer. I'm just trying not to get my fingers on there. And then I'm just going to have it plate inside the space as best as I possibly can, and I think that's pretty good. And all I'm going to do now, so it's in there, as you can see right there, and all I'm going to do now is just kind of lift this up. I'm trying not to touch, which might be a little bit hard, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so what I'm trying not to do is to get my fingers on there, but it's going to be a little bit hard to not do. So I'm using my nails actually, so that there are no oils from my finger that transfers to the pad itself. All right, and I think that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is you have and like I mentioned before, this is a rubber grommet right here, very small. And all you do, there's a little space or a little gap between here. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. And all you do is you're just gonna slide it in to the groove right here. And once that is in, you just put it and you press it down. Once you press it down, that's exactly what it looks like. And all I'm gonna do now is there's two holes right here, and you just kind of put it in like so, and you just wait for it to snap. So let's just line it up first. Just make sure, let's see. So it looks like you go from this side, then you snap it in. Oh, there you go. So you put this side in first, and then this side goes in afterwards. And that's it, pretty much, guys. Pretty nice. And like I mentioned before, you get the Thunderbolt 5 cable. Take off the plastic, and you just pretty much just plug it in, and that's pretty much it, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be moving over to the computer and just to initiate the actual drive itself, as well as this hard drive, and not to mention the keyboard. And then I will actually test the hub here and see what kind of speeds we get when we connect our external hard drives to the USB-C. But not only that, if I connect another USB-C to this connection and see if we are still getting the same speed, vice versa. All right, so give me a moment and I'm gonna just move over to the computer. All right guys, so the first thing I really want to do is real quickly, I'm just going to show you how easy it is to just add your keyboard, okay? So pretty much this is a Bluetooth keyboard. You can either go Bluetooth or you can connect it using the cable to the computer. But I'm going to be using Bluetooth. So in this scenario now, I'm just going to open up my system settings, and then you go to Bluetooth, and then now you're going to just turn on the keyboard. There's a little switch right here. All you do is just turn that on. Once you turn that on, you're going to just give it a few seconds, and then it's going to appear here, and all you do is just click on connect. Once that happens, now you give it a few more seconds and you're going to have the Touch ID and password activated, because it's not going to be there, okay? So once that happens now is, as you notice that I've actually added a fingerprint because I wanted to test it just to make sure it's working. And then now all I'm going to do is just click on the plus, and then all I'm going to do is just type in my password. Once you type your password in, you're going to identify whatever finger you want to use. I'm just going to press, and once you press, you're going to see the red is starting to fill all the white areas. You just continue doing that, and once it's totally red, it's going to tell you that the Touch ID is ready. Your fingerprint can be used to unlock your Mac, all right? And all you do is just click on done. Once that is done, your keyboard is pretty much set up, and that's how pretty much easy it is. The keyboard is pretty simple, guys, and it works pretty well. I don't really have much issues. It feels a little bit tight because obviously it's a brand new keyboard, so it's pretty nice, guys. Let me just do a quick little test here. Let's put it over here. Let's close this, and you know, it works really well, and it sounds really nice. So it's pretty good, guys. Like I mentioned before, I hope I did mention it, but the only thing I wish it had was a backlit like my LG keyboard. If you guys want to see, so my LG keyboard is right here, and you can see the size difference, the LG and this keyboard. So it's definitely smaller, which is okay because I'm looking for a smaller footprint on my desktop, and you know, something that doesn't want to take up too much space. But if I turn on the LG here, you're going to see that it lights up. You know, if I turn off this light right here, you're going to see how well it lights up nicely, guys. All right, so that's the one thing I'm definitely going to miss, but you know, I just can't bother with the hassle of every time just punching in password for every little thing. So this is going to help me to just be more, you know, productive and work a lot faster, especially if I'm downloading apps or, you know, logging into the computer, whatever. All right, so now that you guys see that is done, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to this dongle, the Ugreen small hub from Ugreen. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug it in. So once you plug it in, guys, you're going to see that there is a light here. And what I want to do is just to test and see how well the 10 gigabit is in terms of with speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it with my 2 terabyte SanDisk right here, as you can see. All right, so I'm just going to plug it in. Once I plug it in, let's just close this. I'm not going to save. All right, so once I plug it in now, guys, I'm going to open up my application over here. So let's just open this up, and I'm going to use this to do my speed tests. And all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select the drive, and this particular drive is rated for about up to 1050 megabytes per second. All right, so let's see if we get, you know, close to it. So I'm going to choose that drive, and once I do, I'm just going to click on that and give it a couple seconds. So right now it's giving me about 675.70 on the read. And let's see what we get on the right. So I'm getting pretty much almost the same on the right as well. So I'm getting 659.09, and that's not too bad, guys. It's within range, but I said up to 1050 megabits per second. So for me, it's pretty good. It has worked really well for me. I have about maybe 3 of these, and I don't have any problems with them whatsoever. I can edit off them. It's easy for me to back up, and they're pretty decent in terms of speed. So I'm pretty okay with what they give me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move on. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna eject that from the computer. And as you can see, you know, that it actually works. And like I mentioned before, it has a light right here, an indication light. And like I said, you have a USB-C, which is the PD, and it offers about 100 watts. As you can use to charge your computer. You have a 2 USB-A, and also you have your the 2 USB-C, which is 10 gigabits. And then you also have a HDMI right here that you can plug in, you know, any kind of monitor or whatever that is. So what I'm gonna do next now is, you saw these little dongles, as you can see, and this right here is going to allow me to, you know, convert my USB-A to USB-C. So let's just do a quick test with this. So all I'm gonna do is, as simple as this, I'm just gonna plug it in, like so. And once it's plugged in, then we can just test it and see. And it comes up, and let's just try it with the speed test again and see what happens. And let's just run it. So it seemed like something is wrong with this port here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop this. Let's just stop that. And then what I'll do is, let's see. Yeah, it seemed like there's something wrong with this particular port. So see, I got an error right there. So what I'm gonna do is, I ejected it from the computer already. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try it into the other port and see. Let's try again. All right, so it recognized the hard drive is there. I'm just gonna reselect it. Let's choose that and then run it. So I'm getting about 608, 610. Right, so I'm getting 610.04 on the read, which is a little bit less, which is fine. And let's see what we want to get on the right. Wow, so this time we're getting a much higher speed. We're getting 659.77 on the read, on the right, sorry. So that's pretty good. So it seems like there's something wrong. I'm gonna eject this. I'm just ejecting from the computer. So it seems like there is something wrong with this port right here. So maybe I just got a bad one, I don't know. So this port is actually giving me, this particular port right here is giving me an error, so maybe I have to send this back. So personally, I'm not going to recommend a product that is not working. I don't want to, you know, advertise something for you guys and it's not working. So at least you can see live now that we have this issue. So this particular port is not working. So I'm going to have to probably send, I'm going to have to send this back. Not probably, I'm going to have to send this back. All right, so at least I know that my dongle, the USB-A to USB-C, the 10 gigabits is actually working. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, guys, is you saw that I actually put this into the computer. All right, so as you can see here, this has the vents, like I mentioned before. It has the fan on top. And all I'm gonna do is just plug it in the computer, and then I'll do a speed test on this, and let's see how that goes. So I'm just going to plug it in. So the back ports on the Max is pretty much Thunderbolt 5, and I want to, you know, exactly use that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, and let's see what kind of speeds we get. So I'm just going to say that and then run it. So right now we're getting 6,916.79 on the read. So it's within range because the range that they have is up to 7,300 megabits per second. So that's pretty close. The write speed is a little bit slower, and that's pretty much fine. All right, so I'm getting pretty decent speed on there, and it, like I said, it has a button on the back where I can just press it, and it actually turns on the fan. So if you feel like it's getting hot, you can just turn that fan on, and it will just get all that hot air out of there. All right, so now that we see that that is working, I don't need to go much further. I definitely want to do, let me just eject this from the computer. So what I was saying to you guys is I definitely want to do a comparison between this one that I have, that I showed in a recent video, and this. So I'm going to do a stress test in another video, so stay tuned for that, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you guys are interested in seeing that. I'm going to do a stress test between this. So this one has in the Samsung 990 4TB, and this one has the Western Digital. All right, so stay tuned for that, guys. So let's move on, so that we don't make, I don't want to make this video too long. The next thing is the actual external hard drive. So I already put it inside the bay, and pretty much what happens is whenever you do put a hard drive into your system, it's going to come up with an option for you, to either eject or initialize, and you want to initialize the hard drive to your system. So if I go to, let me just turn on the drive here. If you hear that little sound, that's the sound of the hard drive. And I like the fact that it's not necessarily that noisy. You hear a little noise, but it's not that loud, which I absolutely love. All right, so like I mentioned before, once you put the hard drive in, then what I normally do is I go to this utility. And then once I go to this utility, here, I'm going to see the hard drive right here. And all you do, guys, is you come here, you go to the erase. Once you go to the erase section, then what you do is you're going to name it. Then you're going to use a format, APFS, and that's for the Mac system. Or if you want to use this between Mac and let's say a Windows computer, you can use exFAT. All right, and then you use GUID partition map, and then you just click on erase. I'm not going to do that right now because I already did it, so I just want you guys to just see that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a speed test on this, and let's just open this software over here. 1 second. Application. Okay, so if I look at what Amazon has on this hard drive, let's just see. So the speeds, they're saying that you should get at least 512 megabytes per second. So let's see if we get anything close to that, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the hard drive here. Select it, and then I'm just going to do a test and see. Just keep in mind, guys, oftentimes these hard drives are not necessarily fast, so don't expect too much in terms of speed from them, okay? I mainly use these hard drives for just storage. So once I finish either editing, let's say a wedding, or if I finish editing a video for that matter, I'm going to just transfer those files to this hard drive so I can take it off, like maybe let's say the SSD or so forth, all right? So we're getting around 262.98 on the read, and then on the write, let's see. So on the right, we seem to be getting around 236.46. All right, so it's within range. It's not necessarily going to get up there, but I am okay with this because I'm not using this to edit on or anything like that. So I don't necessarily need something that's going to be like blazing fast. It's 7200 RPM. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, so it's working. It's, you know, everything is pretty good. And I really just wanted you guys to see these necessary accessories. And, you know, when it comes down to the keyboard, like I mentioned before, it's really more about you know, the fingerprint and getting into my computer as quick. And I don't have to be typing in my password every single time, because for me it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, so that's pretty much the video, guys. And before I go, I really want to just say a big thank you to you guys. You guys have been amazing on the channel. I really want to say thank you because I've now gotten to 3,000 subscribers, and I have you guys to thank for that. And since I checked it this morning, it went up by at least about 11 more subscribers. So you guys have been pretty awesome. All I do on this channel is try to provide information and products that I myself use, and maybe it's something that you'll be interested in using for yourself as well. I do go between budget price stuff as well as sometimes higher price stuff, you know, so it's there for everyone to pick and choose what they are able to manage. All right, so links will be in the description for each of these products, in the description below, and if you guys are interested in, you can use a link to purchase these items. So once again, guys, thank you. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway, not in this video but in the next video coming up shortly, and stay tuned for that, guys. And if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. All right, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.